Hello YouTube, me Bert here again, and today we are going to review the SEGA Saturn 3D controller, as people like to call it, or analog controller. As you can see, there is an analog right here. Now, this controller is it's a very nice controller. You see it has all the buttons the SEGA Saturn would have, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. It has the really nice D-pad on the Model 2 Saturn controller, as you can see right here. It plays very well, feels really nice in your hands. And yeah, it has all the front buttons. Everything's really the same with a really good D-pad. Yeah, and for that it's really comfortable to play with. But if you go to the back, they switched the shoulder buttons to triggers. So now they are triggers. Yes. So everything's basically the same. They switched the triggers. Now, this was packed with a game called Nights into Dreams. Now, most likely, if you have a SEGA Saturn, you've heard of this game. It was made for this game, and it was actually boxed with like in a jewel case. Nights game like this was boxed with this game. You can't find Nights in long boxes though. But yeah, so it was made for that game, and that is what these analog came in for. So what it is it's to help play games like Nights or other 3D games that support it. Now, I don't think it really says anything on the back if it supports it or not. I'm not very sure, but you can easily find out. And you can play games like Virtual Fighter or like Burning Rangers or like Daytona USA or whatever. You can play it with this. Like you can play it with this controller, but if it doesn't use the analog stick, it will automatically go and use the D-pad. But if you want to play with a D-pad on a game, let's say Nights, there's a little symbol down here that says plus and circle. Now, when you shift it over to plus, it uses the D-pad. When you shift it over to circle, it uses the analog up here. So yeah, and it has its average start button. Now, you might think, this looks really odd, looks really big and fat, and is it comfortable to play with? Yeah, it's very comfortable, has two nice grips here, and it is very comfortable. The analog, it fits nice into your hand, but there's like these ring things here, and you feel like this part should be able to spin, but it can't, so it feels a little bit weird, but it's okay. It's not that good when you point up, though, because you find that your thumb is kind of going on it like this instead of being in the groove, but for anything else, it's pretty good, and it's great to play Nights with. You can also see that this controller was a big factor in the Dreamcast controller that they made next. You can see with the triggers and everything, it is very similar to this controller. Now, you can find this controller for like 20 bucks on eBay. You can find it for maybe like 40 if you get it with Nights. If you're looking for it locally, though, you could pay 39 bucks up to it. I bought this one at a store I know of. It cost me quite a lot of money, actually. It cost me like 39 bucks to get. But it's a good controller. One weird thing about it, though, is there's this little block thing back here, and you can strangely pull it off. So you can just pull it off. Really weird, huh? So yeah, outside that, really nice controller. Of course, you can put this back in. I wouldn't recommend pulling this thing off because you might break the motherboard, because the board actually sticks out with this thing. I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're thinking that they're connected to something else, but it's a really good controller, and you can play all your games with it, all your regular games with this really great D-pad down here, which is no hassle to play with, and the analog. Would I say it's a worthy buy? Yeah. If you maybe just got a Saturn, it's a worthy buy because if maybe you know want to play Nights on it and you want to play like I don't know like Virtua Fighter or whatever, Virtua Fighter 2 or other games like Panzer Dragoon or you know whatever, and you can get this controller because it'll play both really well. You can also play Nights with the regular D-pad, but this controller was really made for it, made for those 3D games. So yeah, this is a worthy buy, and I would say it's a pretty good controller. Actually, I'd say it's better than the regular Saturn controller, as that it feels really good and that it has the analog add-on to it. Yeah. And it says SEGA Saturn right up there. Pretty cool. So outside of that, yeah, it's a pretty cool controller. Kind of looks like a spaceship or something. Pretty cool. And of course, it comes with a very long cord. And it comes with this. And yeah, so if you see it around, if you see it for a good price, if you want to buy one, you should. It's a good controller, and I would recommend it.